disturbing. Chase always looks out for Lestelle and never lets go of her when they are together. He knows that no one likes her, though they never said it before. He knows they despise her. Split up into groups, said Judge Equal. He said, though there is no need for this, we already survived the darkness and it's living with us. He went on saying, why? 'Cause we are of value. We made fame and fortune, and here we are living proof that money can buy everything, even life. We can read the word of the Lord however we want to. It doesn't matter what it really says, as long as we could create division between humanity. He sacrificed his son, so that made them all believe that sacrifice was what God wanted, and division. But they didn't see what Jesus did. They ignored the parts from the Bible that made sense and called it God's mystery. They didn't want to know God. They wanted to believe that they were gods. And anybody that stood different, they would reject. They would pretend that a Holy Spirit went within their bodies and they would declare things to humanity. They didn't care if people died. They said it was for the cause of their sins that they had from their ancestors. But they didn't see that that was a lie, that they were all lying to one another. After Judge Equal was done talking, Chase said to himself, and here I was thinking that they didn't know. I thought they didn't know what the Bible actually said. And it took me a couple of seconds to analyze that this Bible has nothing to do with taking humans' rights and saying that the Lord was something that he wasn't. But that's all Judge Equal ever wanted, and anybody that stood like him, to take people's equality. Not because they cared about what was wrong and right, but because they wanted a bigger platform than the next person, and they didn't care who they wanted to fool and how to fool them. They just knew they had to, because they wanted to feel like they were God. Chase then looks at Lestelle to see if she would say anything, but she was more worried about Chase and their salvation. Right then and there, Chase had a deja vu. Now, deja vu, since the cloud has lifted up, aren't the same. People actually know that it's a reality of something that took place in their life, erased or manipulated by the government. Back then, the government could cover it more because the government doesn't rely on spirituality. They rely on covering up with religion, which creates a thought process of repetition. So that people don't grow. To lose the real purpose, they created Christianity so that the people that supposedly are lower class could enter in the kingdom of heaven when there is, in reality, no kingdom of heaven. You create your reality. And if you're evil, well, this is what took place. Chase is in a dark room. He doesn't realize that he's in the in-between. And that place is where you create to believe, and then everything comes true. Judge, what are you doing there? Says Chase. He looks at Chase. Judge Equal looks back and tells Chase, you know that when you fall asleep, they trick you into believing that you something that you're not. Angels and demons don't exist. It's consciousness taking form. When you are asleep, you can travel to other places that really exist, and you could kill people, and they cannot touch you back. Reason why? Because you're a spirit. So to keep people in line, they lie to you, and they create religion. What they call astral projection. People just go on pills. They go on any type of drug that could have them leave their bodies and kill or manipulate other lives. Back then, they couldn't kill them because the government knew where everybody exists. This is why they said Satan has cameras everywhere. There was no Satan. The government put cameras everywhere to make sure when people left their bodies, they were under the system of delusion, because you are what you believe. If you were deluded to believe that you have no power, that you cannot travel in your spirit, that you cannot bring the dead back in your spirit, then you cannot do these things. So the system came up with religion to create resistance of what really makes us happy, because of fear, not because they actually believed that these things didn't exist. They taught your parents to lie to you because they said, what if your child grows up to be a murderer? Your parents didn't really care about you either. The reason why they put up with you was because they will be in control of you. Being in control of someone keeps them going to other worlds, worlds that they could create. But what they didn't know is then they will become demons when they fall asleep, and those same demons will attack them back. And I'm warning you, Chase, once you wake up from here, you will have more abilities, even though you won't remember you were in this room with me. But you will be able to recall energy, and you will be able to read people's thoughts. They put you in here. They locked you up because they're afraid. It's like they were afraid of the prophets from back then. And they erased their identity for what they really stood for, but not their energy, because they wanted to use it as a deception, as an amusement, to make fun of what Jesus did, what they all did for us. This is why Chase cares so much about Judge Equal. Judge Equal once said all these words to him. He just couldn't remember it. But right then and there, when he saw Lestel, he recalled everything, as for it was a reality that was stripped out of his life, but not fully from his consciousness. He then knew that nothing could fully be erased by your consciousness. It could just be put to rest for a while. But just like Judge Equal said, he will remember the motion of it, and the motion of it will bring the thought, the motion that was set forth when the words were said. Then he would recall every moment that's necessary. And hopefully, it's not too late when he's recalled what he was warned about through the same motion being manifested again. The words would never be recalled without someone manifesting the same emotion that was in that room. And that's what they call the Spirit God of guidance. The Spirit God and the Spirit of Jesus and the Holy One wasn't what the government was saying. Those spirits were something else. But this time Chase recalled because of emotion. It was the same passionate emotion from when he was in that room with Judge Equal. That's what him and Lestel experienced in that very moment when she recalled salvation. And she knew if things were going to change, she knew she needed to put up a front and ignore him for now. Chase felt her rejection towards him, so he went on the opposite team. He looked at her and in her eyes he saw sadness, but her face resembled strength.